Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Hey, this is Brian Johnson, and you are listening to Two Strangers, One Podcast. Why the fuck you're doing that instead of listening to Tell 'em Steve Dave is beyond me.
If you're looking for the hottest podcast in the land, tune in to Two Strangers, One Podcast.
Subscribe to us on iTunes. For Android devices, we are also available on the Stitcher app in the Google Play Store. You can also like on Facebook at facebook.com/Two Strangers, One Podcast.
Now here's Chris.
Well, hello and welcome to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
And we're doing another Skype episode. I'm really digging this setup. I'm really, I could like sit around in my underwear and podcast.
Don't tell people that, please. Don't tell people that.
No, I don't. I actually, I'm a basketball shorts kind of guy.
I don't know if people want to know that either.
Well, no, basketball shorts are like the right. They're made from like a magical material that, like, you know, they're cool when they need to be cool. They're warm when they need to be warm. You know, I don't know. I like. You know, I'm one of those fat guys that likes sports clothes.
So you feel campy is what you're saying?
I guess.
I got to make fun of Jose on this podcast at some point. So.
Oh, okay.
Which, by the way, for those of you that are listening, sorry I wasn't on the Tsunami Faithful podcast this week, but work is more important than the podcast, unfortunately, and I didn't feel like dying. So.
Yeah, and welcome to all the numbers, because our numbers have like freaking boosted up. I mean, we seriously like almost tripled our numbers with the little shot in the arm from the Tsunami Faithful.
I don't know what you're talking about. Who did that? I don't know what you're talking about.
And, you know, unless you got like
a lot of people actually like the show, so
unless you got a couple hundred computers in your house downloading.
That'd be hilarious. Oh look, let me download here. Let me download here. Let me download here.
No, I don't. Fiverr.com. Like there's like a. There's some sweatshop in China downloading episodes.
Wait. I have an app for that. I don't know. Well, thanks to everybody for digging the show. I hope that me and Chris here have a good vibe going, that we can give you a good show every week.
Yeah, it's really, like, seriously, the numbers. And I guess I can use this to segue into the first thing I wanted to talk about. It's nice to talk to somebody because I've pretty much alienated every single person that I know in Rochester. Besides you. You're the only person on my, because I don't know, it started a while back.
Yeah, you might want to explain what your post was on Facebook.
Yeah, I had basically made a post on Facebook about that, you know, I can't stand Rochester. The moment I get full custody of my daughter, I'm leaving this fucking, Mickey Mouse town. I said, I called the people in this town small-minded. Short-sighted, no real, not really reaching for their goals and stuff like that. And, that and I hate to put it like this, but I am kind of stuck here. I mean, until I get custody of my daughter, I really can't leave the county. And so it's, I am literally like stuck here. I mean, unless I want to just forsake my daughter, I have to stay here. And, one guy responded, not knowing my situation, like, why don't you just leave? And I was like, no, I can't leave. I'm trying to get custody of my daughter so I can get the fuck out of here. So since then, my roommate included, I got a lot of, I got a lot of negative feedback from that post. And, I just ended up, like, quite frankly, just unfriending besides you, like, Comics Etc., a sponsor of the show. Those are like, everyone else in Rochester, and even people that, like, I didn't have a beef with, or people that I didn't seem to negatively respond. I just unfriended a lot of people. Basically just a lot of people from Rochester, because I have, that's pretty, I did paint with a very broad brush and say the whole town is a bunch of small-minded, non-goal achieving people. And,
Well, I know that you messaged me and you were like, yeah, it's not you, don't worry. And I'm like, do you want to explain that a little bit more? Like, what the hell is going on?
It's like, dude, I run 3 websites, and I got podcasts. No, I'm saying like you.
Yeah.
I'm reaching my goals. Like, I'm trying to get this music thing up. I'm trying to get my podcast up. I'm trying to get all this stuff up.
What? No. We don't. What are you talking about? I don't do anything.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess what we need to say is what What prompted all of this?
I don't know. I mean, it is sort of, I mean, it does stem from like me trying to get custody of my daughter from the very beginning, where I wanted to go back to New York City, where my family's from, and the judge refuses to let me go. She's like, no, you have to stay in the county. And, it just bothers me that it's technically part of New York State. Yes, it's 350 miles away. Yes, it's a 6-hour drive. But, I would move down to New York City and I would conform to whatever rules they gave to me. The Child Protective Services up here would be the same Child Protective Services down there. I mean, I can't see the standards being that much different.
Right.
And so, it was just like, it feels like that, upstate doesn't like New York City, because a lot of people, ask anyone who lives in New York. The moment you speak to anybody else outside of New York State and you say you're from New York, everyone instantly automatically assumes New York City.
Right.
And a lot of people have to understand it. New York City is literally, well, at least Manhattan is an island 11 miles by 3 miles, yet New York is one of the biggest states in the Union. It's a lot of, there's a lot of misconception, but, before all this nonsense happened in my life, I did work for the state. And I worked downstate. I worked in New York City facilities and, we did feel, and now I'm not even in that job anymore. And they closed 2 of the city facilities, kind of, what's the best way to put it? They were looking for a reason to close the facilities.
Right.
Because, I've mentioned this before. I used to be a correction officer and they closed 2 of the facilities, 2 facilities that I used to work at. Although all my old coworkers were kind of fucked because now instead of working in facilities that are like in, Staten Island or in Manhattan, they shut those all down. And now these people got to travel all the way up to Sing Sing, and if you're coming from Brooklyn to go to Sing Sing, you're putting, you're easily putting like 120 miles a day on your car.
Oh, yeah.
Because Sing Sing is 40 miles. Sing Sing for me was 40 miles in one direction. And I was coming from Manhattan when I was working there. So it was so I feel like there's a disparity where people from upstate don't like downstate. And, with that being said, I feel like, as soon as I open my mouth here in Rochester, people hear my voice. They hear the accent in my voice. I've lost a little bit of it, but people are like, oh, you're not from around here, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's a double standard or something. And I don't know. I'm babbling on right now, but I guess that's the whole point of the podcast. So
yes, it is the part. So
and it started with that, and then don't get me wrong. I've met some great people in Rochester. I used to be part of an improv troupe. I used to, the people that I used to work with, since I've moved up here, I worked in Radio Shack, and there were certain coworkers of mine who were good people, but no one that I would call a friend, and, for the past couple of months before all this nonsense happened, recent nonsense, there was a kind of a crew of people that I used to hang out with. And, my beef was that, every time there was some sort of gathering, all it was, a bunch of parents who, they're stuck with their kids all week. They're going crazy. So they all get together. So like all the kids are together and so they can get around, hang out and drink.
Right.
Which I guess makes sense. I mean, everybody needs an outlet, but it was just a little too much for me. I just didn't want to because I don't drink, and I kind of blew them all off. Like as soon as I I don't know. They all hang out together, and that's pretty like my most recent, my roommate now. She was part of that clique, and I kind of insulted everybody in the crew. So by saying what I said about Rochester. So I've been alienated. I'm nobody talks to me, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, a lot of people, the people that responded way negatively to that post were people that, I wasn't going to get to them anyway. You know what I'm saying? It was,
right.
There's nothing I can say or do that's going to make him change their mind. And, and it's just one of those, the same guy that said, oh, well, if you don't like it, just go, I had instant messaged him or direct messaged him, and we were kind of going back and forth. And, for people who listen to the show, it's the guy that when we had our live event, the guy that rented the space to us. And, my point was that, he was a little too busy. He was very bad at returning phone calls. So I had said, because because part of the contract when you rent the place is to get a walkthrough. You would go look at the place, and, the place being a performance area, has a stage, there's lighting, there's audio. And I thought part of the walkthrough would be kind of like a quick, like, okay, here's how the mixing board works. Here's how the lights work, and, since he didn't return all his phone calls, I didn't get a walkthrough till like 2 days before the actual event. And even then it was like in the evening and it felt kind of rushed. So the night of the show, he was our lighting and audio guy, not to mention the guy that worked the door, so technically I guess he would be like security, the ticket office,
Right.
and then like, at the end of the night, because what had happened was I needed an extension cord. I didn't have one. I'm calling out for him. He's outside with his buddies. And I kind of like, I was like, yes, it was just the nonsense. Trust me, guys, this podcast is going to get a hell of a lot more funnier.
It's like, you down.
Dick and fart jokes. So that being said,
You want me to go with the black guy? We go with the... Okay, never mind.
And so it was basically, and he's like, oh, well, I'm a teacher and I'm busy and I have to, and I'm trying to run the theater. And I'm like, and he's like, oh, if you're going to burn your bridges and if I could forgive my father for what he did. And it's like, I'm like, well, where the hell, what does your father have to do with any of this? Like apparently he had some sort of issues. And it was just basically, I've alienated a lot of people. And it was just kind of like, and then what I had mentioned to you, and this is really gonna, like my roommate was accusing me of doing some pretty weird fucking things. She was accusing me of leaving all the lights on in the house at night, which is so not my style. I may have once in a while leave a light on just by accident, but I'm the guy who runs to the house turning off all the lights. You know what I'm saying? I'm the opposite. I'm like, and so
I got bills to pay. Let me turn these off.
yeah, shit. If I got to pay for electricity, I'm turning off all the lights. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's not necessary, I turn it off. And then, like, she accused me of, doing the dishes, but not really doing the dishes. Just like taking the dishes, like kind of just like running them underwater and just throwing them on the shelves, like not really cleaning them. And it was just like, and you have to understand is that like, she's not a liar, you know what I'm saying? Like, like some people are known to just be like liars and stuff like that. So she honestly is thinking, and she said that I left the door unlocked. I'm a city boy. The last thing I do is leave the door unlocked. You know what I'm saying? Like I always lock and as a matter of fact, her car got broken into because she left her door unlocked, while we've lived here.
That's not good.
And then she says that I leave the door, I've left the door unlocked. And it's like, I'm getting accused of all these weird fucking things that are like so not what I would do. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many other things that I really do that you could accuse me of. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, fuck, how about you clean a kid litter box or something like that? The house smells like cat shit. Do something about it.
Right.
So it was just kind of like this whole buildup of things. And so, like I said, I've kind of, I've poured my soul out, and I'm pretty sure some of the people that I guess you could say I insulted, I'm pretty sure they're listening to this right now. So I guess I guess apologizing, I guess would be the best way, or at least not have any hard feelings, or I don't know. I was just kind of.
I think what the people need to take away from this is that you're in a frustrating situation and people should understand your situation.
Mm-hmm.
But if they can't understand that you're trying to make things better for your daughter, then really they don't need to be your friend.
Yeah, and Facebook is my punching bag. It really is.
Yes, it is. I've seen some of your posts.
I make the most offensive fucking comments, and mind you, I mean, this is the first time, a lot of people like to they go through their Facebook page and they start deleting a whole bunch of people, and then like they'll put a post like, if you can read this, that you survived the cut. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. I'm not one of those people. You know what I'm saying? I have freaking old high school buddies. I have old coworkers, relatives and stuff like that. And yet I'll still post the most obnoxious, mean-spirited, rude thing out there, and I forget, oh shit, the lady that does my taxes is on my Facebook page, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm talking about, oh, this fat bitch. I'm not talking about her. I'm just talking about, fat bitches in general. Oh, nobody likes them.
Right. Yeah.
And so, I forget that, by the time you post it out, it's already out there. It's already out there in the ether.
Yeah. I mean, I went on like 50 tirades about my stupid ex. I don't know if you saw my Facebook.
Yeah.
I went on like 50 like tirades about my ex because, I'm sitting here trying to figure out what the fuck is wrong. And then I find out she was talking to another guy. Yeah. And it's like, so really every little excuse you made was bullshit. And this is the real reason. It's just like, I understand where you're coming from. I can understand your frustration. So I don't take offense to it.
Yeah. I mean, I try to just, I'm trying to just get through my days right now because right now my car is in the shop. On top of all this other shit that's going on, and I owe money to Time Warner, I owe money to AT&T, I owed money to my bank. My car's in the shop. So I had to go to a meeting today and, and I actually, and I didn't want to bother my roommate because, we're not even talking. So I didn't want to bother her for a ride. And, I ended up, I took the bus to the meeting today, which today was the first time I ever took a bus in Rochester.
How was that experience?
Oh, it was so pleasant.
Go on.
Well, where I live, it's not the greatest area in the world. I mean, it's okay, but it's
an okay neighborhood. Trust me, I've seen some worse places in Rochester.
And but I mean, where I live, I would say is like when the bad neighborhood starts getting a little nicer. But in the direction that I was going to, and I was going into downtown, it drove through the heart of the ghetto. And that being said, I mean, you just got, people on the bus. And on my way back, it was after school hours. And you got these kids on the bus, man. Like, I know we were kind of like rude and nasty and on the, when I was a kid, we were obnoxious. But, I mean, girls, freaking teenage girls is cursing and look, my ex-wife was black, what I'm saying? These were pretty girls, but just so disrespectful with talking. I mean, I know I'm just, I can sit here and, if I go on Facebook, okay, it's on Facebook. It's kind of like my avenue. But if you're out in the street, where people are there and there's people there with their small children and stuff like that, and these girls are just cursing up a storm. And, this bitch, this motherfucker, hey, bitch. It's ridiculous.
It's a problem, man. Like, a lot of the things that used to happen around in Rochester are gone now because of all these disrespectful city kids. It's disappointing, Like, for example, I live in Henrietta. I also work out in Greece, and I'm not going to say where I work because I'm not sure if I can get in trouble. But one of the things that used to happen out in Greece was, and I don't know if you remember this, the Greece Carnival that used to happen at the mall.
That was probably before I moved up here.
Okay. Well, they used to have this carnival at the mall, and it would happen every year, and every single year there would be fights. Mm-hmm. So I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, I want to say. They had the event as usual, and there were just huge fights. Well, the carnival people were like, okay, we're done. We're not going to do this anymore. Mm-hmm. And the people of Greece are like, what the hell? Why can't we have it? Nope, we're not doing it anymore. There's too many fights. We're not going to have it. Sorry, we're done. And it's getting to the point where we can't even have things in Rochester. Seabreeze, perfect example. Seabreeze,
which is our local water park.
Yes, it's amusement/water park. For those of you that don't know, you guys can look it up online. We're not going to explain it to you. But Seabreeze, for example, Memorial Day, not the weekend, but Memorial Day itself. They don't open on Memorial Day. Why? Because there's always some kind of threat. There's always somebody saying, oh yeah, we're going to come there and cause problems. So they don't open. The next day they do, but Memorial Day they do not open. And it's because of all this bullshit. And I think that kind of brings us to what happened at Culver Ridge.
Yeah,
this past weekend.
This past Friday at a local movie theater.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I got this straight, and you could definitely.
I have some information. Well, I have the information from the news. So.
Okay, yeah. So if I understand this correctly, a fight that involved 4 to 500 teenagers happened at a movie theater on a Friday night.
Yes,
that is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And well, okay, first of all, let's make this clear. This theater is pretty much classified as the ghetto theater. But let's be honest about this. It's classified as the ghetto theater. That's not my wording. That's the wording of everybody.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, you're not being offensive because I have my own personal experiences there. I'll get into in a second, but yeah, go on.
And I used to work for Regal, and I can tell you right now that it's not like Regal is not doing their job, because they are. They have 4 to 5 security guards there. I think included in that is one person actually patrolling the parking lot too. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they don't have security there. They have more than enough security there. The problem is Insidious 2, which was the movie that came out that day. First of all, it was PG-13. Mm-hmm. So when you have a PG-13 movie, you can't enforce what's called a rated R policy. And I know some people are going, please stop. Just get to the good shit, please. But anyways,
dick and fart jokes.
Dick and fart jokes. But it's like you're sitting here and you want to enforce a policy on these kids, but you can't because you don't have a curfew. So when a movie's PG-13 instead of rated R, because for anybody that doesn't know, rated R, you have to be 17 or older to see the movie, or you have to have a parent with you. These parents just drop their kids off, just continue dropping their kids off and leave. So now you got 400 to 500 kids just causing problems in the theater, just causing problems and everything. So 400 to 500 people fighting and crap is no surprise to me, because all these city folk are doing is dropping off their kids at the goddamn front door and be like, see you in 2 hours. And it's like, and I kind of wish, and I'm not saying, let me make this clear, and I think you're saying the same thing, Chris. We're not saying that all city folk are doing this shit. I'm not saying that. But the majority of these parents are just not making their kids respectable. They're not, doing these things that should be done. Like, I'll tell you something right now. If my kid, who's 7 years old, might I add, was disrespectful to me, I would lay his ass out. What did you just say to me? Get your ass in your room. I'm like, no. You don't talk to me that way. He knows better. Sometimes he tries to act. He acts differently for his mom, and sometimes I got to sit there and look at him and be like, do you want to be a little bit smarter about your decision? Because then I got to get 50 phone calls from your mother saying that you're doing this or you're doing this or you're doing this. You need to stop. And because my son lives in the city too, unfortunately. But it's just the point, like, we can't have nice things around here. We can't have a movie theater without, these people from the city coming in and ruining it all. It's just, it's frustrating, man. You know what I mean?
That particular strip, like, just to paint a picture for the people that obviously for the whole bunch of, because we have a lot of Rochester listeners, but just to paint the picture for the people, it's because it's in Irondequoit, which is technically a suburb, but since it's off a main,
it's a nice suburb too.
Yeah, but it's off a main strip that comes directly from the city, so it's almost like it's it's a main thoroughfare that goes down Ridge Road, and comes from the bad neighborhoods right into the good neighborhood. And like, I used to work for Radio Shack, and the Radio Shack there on Ridge Road and Hudson, right by the Walmart.
Oh God! Oh no!
Yeah, that place has.
Oh.
That being said, that place always has the best numbers when it comes to cell phones. Yes, it's the prepaid cell phones, but the numbers there are ridiculous. They literally triple the numbers of other stores in the district.
Wow.
And it's crazy. It's so in that same plaza as the Regal Theater, I had went out to the GameStop there when Portal 2 was released, and there were a couple other games that came out that day, and I can't remember the other two off the top of my head, but there were like 3 games released that night. Portal 2 was one of them, and Portal 2 was the one that I was excited about. And let me tell you, in that area, because I knew it was kind of like the ghetto area, but oh my God, I went there, it was a midnight release. So, I get there around 11:45 thinking, okay, I'll probably be like number 5 in line. I was actually, the line snaked through the store all the way to the front door. And I, like, by the time I got there, I was like literally just outside the door, and it was like, there were people just like, hanging out, and it was a bunch of young kids. Like, it was like midnight. And like, what the hell are these young kids doing out? Like, where the hell are the parents?
That's what I'm telling you, man. Like, we had this conversation on a previous podcast. I wish they really had the curfew still in the city of Rochester, because it helped a lot of the problems. And I got to tell you, man, like,
you called it before this crazy 500 teenager fight.
Yeah, it's weird. Like, I say that in the next that weekend after. It's
like 2 days later, or a day and a half later, that you were just talking about the curfew.
Yeah.
And a 400 or 500 teenager fight breaks out at the movie theater. It's ridiculous.
And it was all the city kids too. It wasn't anybody from Irondequoit. It was the city kids. They actually had to call in. They had Irondequoit police there. They had Rochester City police there. They had Monroe County police there, and they had Webster police there. That's how bad this was.
Yeah. And technically, of course, if they're called in, they're called in. But city police, where that plaza is located, isn't a. What I'm saying? Like, the city police were technically out of their jurisdiction. But if they're called in, they're called in.
They're called in, yeah. They're not. it just makes me like it's getting so bad these days that we have to do something as sad as put a curfew in at a movie theater. You know what I mean? And I really hope that Irondequoit finally does it, because this hasn't been the first problem that they've had at that theater either.
Yeah.
Even that one out in Webster that just got renovated, that has leather seats and everything.
Oh yeah,
that had some
about it.
that had some problems too. So I love how people are like, "Oh, the seats are nice. Oh, this is great." What happens if all those problems come back? I really hope you have a lot of security, because if those people come out there too, you're screwed.
Those leather seats are gonna be slashed up and.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm so lucky I don't work at that theater. Oh my god, do you imagine how much cleaning you got to do with that leather seating?
Yeah.
Oh. And it's all carpeting too. So
yeah, some poor schmucky kid.
Let's not even talk about that.
Some poor schmucky kid making minimum wage with a fucking Swiffer or whatever. Like the Swiffer equivalent of a vacuum cleaner. But okay, let's move it on to a lighter note. And thank you for for the people that if you're still listening,
we still be listening.
It's a drama, but I mean, come on, it's a fight with 400, 500 teenagers. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah. If you guys want to see what we're talking about, those of you that are outside of Rochester, you can go to 13wham.com. That's one of the news agencies out here.
WHAM. Yeah.
Yeah, 13wham.com, and they have it on there. Just search like movie theater fight. I think it should come up.
Which one of the many videos?
Yeah, many videos that's come up. So, but yeah. So should we go to commercial break or?
Yeah. Let's say we'll be right back after a moment.
This episode of Two Strangers, One Podcast is brought to you by Comics Etc. 1115 East Main and North Goodman at the Hungerford Building, door number 8. Find out more information at comicsetc.biz or like them on Facebook at facebook.com/comicsetc1.
Click and Hit, enhancing the experience for all recreational smokers. Click and Hit is a one-handed portable vaporizer. This smoking pipe has a compact 4-stage design, complete with a built-in, windproof, butane refillable torch lighter. The large burn chamber holds your stash of legal herb or pipe tobacco. Click the button to ignite and inhale as usual. When you are done, put it back in your pocket for later. Smoke anytime with the touch of a button. No more carrying around grinders and tins. Leave the pipe, rolling papers, and even your lighter at home. The Click and Hit cordless vaporizer is no bigger than a normal cigar, making it the world's smallest and most discreet vaporizer. It's perfect for use in small places or shared rooms. It's efficient, getting 5 to 8 draws from your packed chamber. It's affordable at just $19.95 each. Buy 3 and the shipping is free. Buy 4 and you get the 5th one free. Visit www.click-hit.com. That's clickandhit.com. And now for listeners of Two Strangers, One Podcast, you can use promo code STRANGERS and receive 10% off your purchase at clickandhit.com. That's promo code STRANGERS for 10% off your purchase.
And we're back.
With a lighter note. If everybody's not been like...
Yeah. Well, I think if the people who've been listening or whatever, I mean, it kind of, don't get me wrong, I love to talk about nerdy stuff, but I mean, we're talking about current events and stuff like that.
We got to talk about some Rochester in the podcast. Come on now. It's got to happen.
But
let's talk about some
Miss Miley Cyrus.
Yes, we'll talk about that first, and then we'll talk about something else.
Okay.
But, yeah, so did you see my post on Facebook?
I know I saw it. Oh, yeah, no, you was talking about how, there's no such thing as bad publicity, and that, she's laughing all the way to the bank with... Oh,
yeah. So basically what I posted on my Facebook page, for everybody that hasn't seen it, because my Facebook is private. There's reasons for that. So the one thing that's been annoying me about this Miley Cyrus thing is... like all these news agencies are like, oh, she's crazy, oh, she's Charlie Sheen, oh, she's this. And I'm sitting here, and I look at her. First of all, I watched the Wrecking Ball video. Mm. Aside from her licking the hammer, which I didn't understand. I was
you gotta love
that. That was the most offensive thing that I found in the video. Her being, I guess, naked was so offensive to me. I mean, okay, let me give you some context. I'm 29 years old. Okay, I've seen Christina Aguilera and I've seen Britney Spears be 10 times worse than Miley Cyrus, and you want to sit here and tell me that Miley Cyrus is being offensive? I don't know about that, but the point I'm trying to make, if you look at her video, you can go on there right now. You can search it on YouTube for Wrecking Ball, Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, I mean, now, just not to cut you off, that video has officially been, what's the word I'm looking for? YouTube has acknowledged that video was the fastest watched video in the history of YouTube.
See what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm looking up while you talk, but I mean,
well, how many views does it have right now? Because when I posted up the picture, it had 111 million views on it.
Yeah. I'm gonna look it up right now. I'm gonna
podcast edit. But while he's looking that up, the point I was trying to make is Miley Cyrus is either doing one of two things, and Jessica Simpson kind of did this by playing off like she was dumb when she really wasn't dumb, because I've seen she's a very smart business person. It
takes a genius to play an idiot,
right? So, and we all know she isn't an idiot, because she got an endorsement from what was that tuna thing?
Chicken of the Sea.
Chicken of the Sea, and like all of a sudden she's getting like all these like endorsements and everything, and she's actually talking intelligently, and it's like, okay, what are you really doing? So to get to my point about Miley Cyrus, she's either doing one of two things. Either A, she's really, really fucked up, and we need to call Oprah and have a counseling session, or B, pretty much she's doing this for publicity, to sell records and to, make money. Because here's the thing that I was trying to say on Facebook too. Her songs are not terrible at all. Her songs are actually good. That one that played all summer, We Can't Stop.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sitting there going, I'm like, I really want to hate this song because she looks ugly the way she does now. But holy shit, this song is good. I'm like, what is this girl doing? There's got to be something behind this. And how many views does it have? Did you bring that up?
Okay, right now the views of this video, as of right now, 122 million views.
So it jumped 22 million views from the other night. I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago I posted that. Holy shit.
And that was okay. We're recording this on the 19th, and the video was released on the 9th. So in 10 days, 122 million views.
There's one thing I've learned in business. Mm-hmm. By the way, I have a business degree. I have a bachelor's in business administration. So let me educate all of you and bore you to death. When you get that many views on a video, guess what? That means money.
Oh yeah.
So let's see. Numbers don't lie. Okay. Let's just say, for the heck of it, she's pretty much doing this for publicity and to sell records. Okay. Mm-hmm. Does she maybe have some problems? I don't know. I mean,
but she's like 20-something years old. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not being outrageous. She's being a 20-year-old girl or whatever, however old she is. 19, 20.
Well, I think people are finding her offensive because she was on Hannah Montana for so many years. And I get it. I understand. But you also have to understand that most of these girls, when they turn 18, snap, boom, they're these hot pieces of ass that, these guys just drool over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's
they
like
have money. They have the influence.
Yeah. I mean, that Disney money, I don't even want to know how much money they got. I mean,
checks don't bounce.
No, those checks don't bounce. That's for sure. And I'm sure Disney's making a shitload more than what they made. So, I mean, look at. I guess the best example is Selena Gomez, for example. She's nowhere near Miley Cyrus, but look at how, she transformed into this really hot woman, but she's not doing the same thing as what Miley's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we can clump those together because maybe some of these parents are like, oh, well, she's wearing too much of a hot dress. No. It's like, no, she's just trying to get publicity. She's just trying to get attention. Girls like attention. I think guys understand this more than women do, and I'm not trying to be offensive to women, but it makes sense. Let's be honest here, okay? Women like attention, so why not sit there and dress in skimpy clothes? Why not sit there and cut your hair so you look somewhat attractive, I guess?
Well, she's reinventing herself.
I hate her hairstyle, dude. Like when she had the long hair and she had just turned 18. Damn.
Dirty.
Like I would have, like, if I were, what was that?
You're a dirty old man.
I'm a dirty old man, but I mean, like, at that point, Yeah, I would have. Let's be honest, okay? Any guy would have banged Miley Cyrus. Let's be honest here. But the minute she cut her hair and started looking like some rocker chick, I'm like, what switch did you flip? I'm like, what's going on here? Can somebody tell me what's going on? Did I get punked?
It's supposed to be no. It's supposed to be. She's reinventing herself. You know what I'm saying? She's supposed to this is supposed to represent the new. I'm growing up. I'm not that little girl on Disney Channel anymore. Kind of rebellion. I mean, every kid goes. What teenager doesn't get a stupid haircut? I mean, I guess, and I looked it up. She's 20. She's 20 now.
Well, I mean, I understand that, but it's.
She's trying to redefine herself.
But then you look at like Selena Gomez, and there's no difference there. You look at God, I gotta think of any other chicks out there that have just turned. Look at oh God, what is her name?
Demi Lovato.
No. Oh, Demi Lovato. Well, yeah. No, she almost committed suicide. But Ariana Grande, she's on Nickelodeon. By the way, side note, I will say this on the podcast right now. Next Mariah Carey. Next fucking Mariah Carey. She sounds exactly like her. If you don't know who I'm talking about, Google Ariana Grande. Listen to her music. I swear to fucking God, I'm calling it right now. This is the next fucking Mariah Carey. Mm-hmm. Okay, she's a great singer. One of the best voices. You'll see this girl, you'll be like, that's coming out of that little fucking girl? Can I sign you to a contract right now? I don't even want you as a piece of ass. I just want to sign you to a contract and make a shitload of money. Holy fuck. And she's hot, too. Let's be honest. She is hot.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is, here's a girl right here that's setting an example, too. Sweetest girl everything that I've seen about this girl, she's sweet. She's very cordial to everybody. You go from this to Miley Cyrus. I understand that girls are going to experiment, but when you're as famous as these people are, and let's not forget, when you talk Miley Cyrus, you're talking about her father, Billy Ray Cyrus. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're involved in that, you have an image to keep. And I understand you're trying to be your own person. I understand that you're trying to invent your own self in the media, so to speak. But, for me, unless you're trying to get attention for your album, this doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm saying I think this is just her trying to get attention.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like I said, she's growing up in front of our eyes, and every
hide my eyes, hide them.
Yeah, it's every and this is being a father to a little girl and stuff like that. Every girl that we would consider hot today at one point was an innocent, sweet little girl, you know what I'm saying? And before they became like kind of hot and even as, slutty or whatever you want to call it, they had to like reinvent themselves, you know what I'm saying? It's, that
right.
After that summer that they developed or whatever the case may be, she's just trying to, kind of shake off that whole Disney thing. And nowadays it's getting to the point where what kid from Disney doesn't grow up and become like
True.
It used to be like a big surprise, True. Like, into Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. Now they're all becoming like, they'll go a little crazy. And I think what it is when you're forced, because when they have these kids and they're doing concerts and they're on the road and, when they're young, there's such a regimen, you know what I'm saying? Like if Disney, that she put out whatever, she did the Hannah Montana movie, the concert movie, doing real concerts. She was probably on such a fucking regimen, you know what I'm saying? With practicing and singing, because she's one of the few people that actually like has talent.
Right.
And, real singing, real playing, real dancing. That when you have such a regimen that by the time you're 18 and you can finally like make your decisions where like, you don't have to listen to your parents and stuff like that, you're gonna go fucking crazy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you've been repressed for so damn long that, by the minute you have some freedom, you're gonna wear, skimpy clothes and cut your hair and grind up on strange men and well, not strange men, but, women say
you're writing her list of why we need to take her to the counselor. Like, continue, keep going. Let me keep writing this down.
And it's just, it's funny, like you mentioned earlier about like her songs, like that song, The Climb. It's the climb. I like that song.
That's a very good song. Like,
for
dude,
big metalhead tattoos up and down my arms. I got tattoos of snakes and skulls and shit like that. And I like that song. It's very inspirational. The video itself, like I agree with you, the Wrecking Ball video. And trust me, she's wearing like little pasties over her nipples, and trust me, I looked hardcore. Yeah, the writing on the ball, like actually swinging on the ball naked, that was a little unusual for me. That was a little hard for me to watch. And her licking the sledgehammer, is huge
her licking
symbolism.
Her licking the sledgehammer was just like. Yeah. Okay, now maybe that offends me, but other than that, like I was like,
she's licking the head of a tool. But but the other parts of the video, and the first part or the last part, when it's the real close up of the face, and she's crying, and there is a lot of emotion to it. Like it's not, it's sort of this weird kind of line, because at one point it's really like out there and outrageous, and then like when it's the real close up of her face, it's very heartwarming. You have to understand, this is coming from a guy that's I'm
tattoos on his arms.
Yeah, I'm very cold and jaded, and I watched that video and I'm like, if she's acting or if she's really tapping into some real emotions, whichever way, it's supposed to be more than just, hey, here's a naked girl writing on it, because anybody could have done that, what I'm saying? But the parts where she's like crying and stuff like that, and it's all up in the camera's like right in her face, it's like, wow, it's powerful stuff, and it's I don't know. She's like I said, she's doing it for the stupid thing at the MTV Music Awards. You know, she even said the next day they were interviewing her, and she goes, "You guys are giving it more thought than I did." Yeah. She just wanted to do something outrageous, because that's what happens at every MTV show. Something outrageous happens because people talk about it the next day. So she's gonna and it's funny that you use that example, Mariah Carey, when you mentioned that girl,
Ariana Grande
to Mariah Carey. When Mariah Carey first came out, she was very innocent. Mariah Carey was
oh yeah, no, you're right.
She was a girl from Long Island. Basically,
has a crush on her.
Oh yeah. No. If you go back, I mean, the first video that I remember her in was a song called "Someday." Someday.
You do realize you're making us look old, right?
Oh yeah. I've given up and I've accepted the fact that I'm an old man. But yeah, it's Mariah Carey back, like her first video. She's wearing like a long sleeve black turtleneck, and mind you, she did not have breasts in that video. I don't know where the hell a breast came in. She's one of those. She must be one of those weird like hit puberty late or whatever the kind of deals, because like now when she's doing like not recently, but I mean you go to you flash forward 15 years. And you go to like the rainbow or whatever. Is it rainbow? I think it's called. She's like in the cover, but she's wearing like basically a bra that's made out of a bandana or two bandanas. Where the hell did those tits come from? Because she did not have those
think
tits.
She did get a boob job, if I remember.
Oh, okay. But that's, that's what I'm saying. When she first came out, and of course, incredibly talented, but when she first came out, she was very innocent and shy, or at least that's the image she put out, that she was innocent and shy. Then, flash forward a couple years later, she's, grinding with booty shorts and a fucking bra made out of two bandanas, it's one, it sells, and, I guess, girls want to reinvent themselves. Christina Aguilera, when she did Genie in the Bottle, that was a very, even though it was kind of like undertones of sexuality, and then when she did the dirty thing where she's wearing a thong and leather chaps.
That was 10 times worse than what Miley did. That was 10 times worse. And I love how people don't even make that comparison. I just sit there and I laugh. I was like, do you need me to play the dirty video?
Yeah, and
I could play it to you.
She's saying I'm dirty.
Yeah. I'm like, there's things that are 10 times more dirty than what Miley did, and you want to sit there and say that she's really dirty? Shut up and go to sleep, okay?
So it's just, I can't believe you spent like half an hour talking about
Yeah, I know. And it's kind of funny because I'm doing the podcast and looking at my iPhone as it upgrades to the new version of iOS 7. I don't know if anybody else out there has an iPhone, but I had to delete a lot of fucking apps and pictures just to get it to go to this new software, so it better be fucking good. Anyway, segue.
Yeah, because you always know when something new comes out, it's always working.
Yeah, I know.
Fine. It's not rushed in any way, shape, or form because of the new iPhone that's coming out. The 5.
No, I feel bad. Anyways, so let's talk about something that just came out yesterday, which would be Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yes.
And the reason I want to talk about that is because in one day, it went over $800 million in its first day. And I'll just read this article.
Could I just cut you off for just 1 second? And because I had this looking up while you were talking about incredible numbers. That Miley Cyrus video in the first 24 hours got 19 million views.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so all right, I just wanted to get that out there for the record. All right, now we can go back to GTA 5.
I'm sure you wanted to get it out there. But anyways, so let me read this article from CNBC real quick. Basically, well, actually, I'll just summarize. Basically, it's been 5 years since the last Grand Theft Auto game, and pretty much the game costs about $60 a pop. The first thing that we need to note was 125 million units were sold before the release. So 125 million of you went out, purchased the CD, pre-ordered the video game before it even came out. So there's 125 right there. So
125 million people would kill for 125 million in the lifetime of the product.
Right. So at the end of yesterday, basically Grand Theft Auto 5 sold over $800 million worldwide, and I guess this excludes Japan and Brazil, where launch is upcoming, I guess. But this was from CNBC, by the way, in case I'm boring you. But apparently, how much was it, Chris?
Okay, according to this one, I actually did show prep. Holy shit.
Holy shit. Being like Jose now.
According to internationalbusinesstimes.com, ibtimes.com, GTA 5 is estimated to have cost $265 million to develop and market. I mean, I know market's a lot of money, but basically saying at $265 million, that's
like a fucking movie production, a high-end movie production, dude.
Yeah, they said blockbuster movies. Now get this, Avatar costs $237 million, and Tangled costs $260 million. Tangled, the Rapunzel computer generated movie. But then again, when you really, when you really think about the stuff that goes on in these games, if I understand it correctly, and a friend of mine posted on it about this, that the game, it installs, because, for all the next generation systems, the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, it installs on your hard drive. And that's not counting with the CD. It installs 8 gigs of information on your hard drive.
Yeah, no, that's right. I heard about that. You have to have 8 gigabytes of space free just to play this video game.
Which basically means if you have like the very first few PlayStations or Xboxes, you're fucked.
You're so fucked. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I got one of the later. I finally got a PlayStation 3. I would say about 2-3 years ago. And I got the 80 gig. But for those people that got the first PlayStation, and even recently the Kinect, the Xbox that came out with the Kinect like 2 years ago, that was only 20 gigs. So that means half of your system is used up. If you don't, forget about if you installed any other games on the damn thing. If you bought one of even the recent Xbox, half of your hard drive is used up just for Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, yeah, that's just really. I don't even want to know. Like if you don't have, see, that's the thing. Like they say 8 gigabytes, but you really want to have 9 just in case. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
So like, what happens if you free up to 8 gigabytes? And yeah, you could play the game, but then it's just like slow as shit. Let me grab the gun. Let me rob the car. It's like, that would be just like disastrous. It would be kind of funny to see if that happened.
And then like every GTA game, the fucking police car magically materializes next to you. That wasn't there 2 seconds ago.
Oh yeah, I love when the biggest thing that pissed me off, and this was about San Andreas. Speaking of GTA, sorry, I have to go into this, but I fucking hate when you have a tank, and here's the thing for people that have not played this game. You can unlock, one of the cheat codes is to unlock a tank. I don't know if it's in the newer GTAs, but in San Andreas and in the ones before it, you could unlock a tank. And what I used to do, because I'm such an asshole, and I loved it when I would do this in the video game, is I would get, and I'm sure that some of you out there have done this too, it's hilarious. You get a tank, you use the cheat code, and what I would do is every single part of the game I would have a tank. So in the country country there would be a tank, in one of the cities there'd be a tank, in the other city there'd be a tank. So every time I would drive into a city or the country or something, I would have a tank there. And then I would just go on rampage.
Just rampage, yeah.
Yeah. So, but one of the things that really fucking pissed me off was in San Andreas, you would, if your tank caught on fire, it would blow up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, first of all, in real life, if a tank caught on fire, it wouldn't blow up. Second of all, in your previous games before San Andreas, it never would blow up when it got caught on fire. So, what the fuck is wrong with this picture? You know?
You could have just freaking rampage for 3 hours at a freaking tank. They gotta put an end on it sometime.
Yeah, but well, see, that's the thing. Like, if you flip the tank over, then it catches on fire and it blows up.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, that makes sense. I guess they don't want you in the tank for 5 hours, but at the same time, it's the same thing with like you would get into like the fighter jet in San Andreas, and I know I'm talking about a different GTA game, but I'm just giving you like context here, and I've been wanting to bitch about this for years. You get in like the F-15, you go up in the air, and you'll just be flying around, or the Apache helicopter, you'll just be flying around. You don't even fly over a military base, because I know some of you out there are gonna be like, well, you flew over a military base, that's why you got 5 stars. Fuck you, I didn't. You would just be flying around. You wouldn't even do anything. You'd just like land. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, you'd have like 5 stars. Yeah. What the fuck? And then you got like a jet following you, shooting missiles at you, and you're just like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. I just was flying around. Stop. Well, so
I mean, look, not for nothing. You take, Rockstar makes incredible games. The Grand Theft Auto games were fucking revolutionary, and they've made their mark in video game history. But if you really, really, really look at it, even when it jumped from generation from PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3, I mean, I play the games on the PlayStation, so that's my frame of reference. They're all the exact same game. As in, and don't be wrong, of course they get, Grand Theft Auto 3 is, leaps and bounds different from Grand Theft Auto 5. But if you look at the way the game is played,
it's basically the same way.
It's the same game. And then Rockstar, I mean, don't get me wrong, these guys are geniuses. They take GTA and they put it in like other kind of funky formats, and they release it like if you remember the game
City.
Bully or what's the other one where the Manhunt,
yes.
L.A. Noire. Even though L.A. Noire was supposed to be, L.A. Noire was like almost like a Grand Theft Auto, with the mini game. It's like it was mostly mini games than anything else. And it's all these Rockstar games. All they're doing is like you took like a game like Manhunt, and all it really was Grand Theft Auto with sneaking. Because at the time, sneaking wasn't a big part of. I think it came out between like 3 and 4 or whatever. And then, it came out after, before San Andreas, whatever, and they added sneaking. Then all of a sudden, when you get to Grand Theft Auto 4, now there's sneaking in it. It's almost like they made these games to kind of test out the engine, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, these games are incredible. I've wasted God knows how many hours playing, Vice City, and I do have to say, Grand Theft Auto 4, there were two or three downloadable contents. There was one called The Lost and the Damned, which is basically you're in a biker gang, and then there was the second one was called The Ballad of Gay Tony. And those were originally released as downloadable content, and then basically they had sold so much downloadable content they said, fuck it, let's put it on his CD. I didn't even have Grand Theft Auto 4 yet, and I bought The Lost and the Damned. I wanted to play just the motorcycle missions. So basically you're getting the whole game. Well, not the whole game, but I mean you're getting the whole world, and okay, yes, it's a limited amount, The Lost and the Damned is probably like a fourth of what the actual Grand Theft Auto 4 is. But
right.
It's like, but you got the whole game, what I'm saying? You got all the physics and the mechanics but you got to give these people like credit, but also call them out on their bullshit that they're releasing the same game over and over and over again. I mean, don't be wrong. So go on.
But let's be business savvy here. If people are stupid enough to buy it, they're gonna just keep releasing this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say stupid because I mean, don't get me wrong. There are tons of there are a bunch of these games. The algorithms are so complex that it does virtually resemble a real world. You know what I'm saying? You know, the time of
Oh,
day
yeah.
affects what's going on. You know, the neighborhood affects what's going on. You know, the decisions. You know, you shoot people in certain gangs, and you know, then when you drive through the neighborhood, that gang will be after you. You know, I mean, it's incredibly complex, yet it's the same fucking game.
It is.
You know, and I
Well,
mean,
it's
I
like-
give them their
it's like-
props. I love the games. I just, you know, I'm just calling them on their bullshit also.
It's like the iPhone. Let's be honest here. If we're gonna go there, that's like the iPhone. There's a new iPhone every single year, almost every single year, and it's just like people just continue to buy the new next model.
Mhm.
Guess what? If you're stupid enough to buy the next model, then you are what it is. You know, you are stupid. You know, I'm sorry, but if you continue to buy the same type of, I guess, phone in this case, or GTA in the same case, it's you know, you're buying the same thing. Now, again, it is a different game because it's a different storyline and everything else. But yeah, you can still go around and just rampage and kill a bunch of people and, you know, whatever. I can do that on San Andreas on my old PS2 and go fucking kill everybody, you know, and put it up on an HD TV where it's going to look 10 times better.
Yeah.
Like, ha ha ha, kill. You know, that's what I would do. Like, somebody would fucking piss me off. I'm like, all right, GTA, yeah, fucking kill everybody. Oh, you want to come at me? On fire. Oh, look at the copper. Oh, nice copper. Hit him with a bat. I mean, I don't know. I was violent back in the day.
Yeah,
Because,
and it's,
like,
you know, it's one of those things, how many people, you know, very few games, well, I mean, before GTA, there was no real games that had, like, sniper, you know, where you could sit there, you know, literally follow people as they walk down the street and, you know, shoot them in the fucking head. You know, it was kind of, you know, and I think who knows how many lives, you know, people always blame, you know, there was that recent shooting in Washington, D.C. where people are blaming, like, violent video games. And it's like, come on, this guy was, you know, he also had a mental health history where he thought, this is what I heard on the news. They said that he told the doctor that the microwave in his house is sending him vibrations to his brain. You know what I'm saying? This guy he was fucked in the beginning, you know?
yeah. I mean,
he just so happened to play
you know what?
violent video games.
I always laugh when I hear the words, it happened because of a video game. And I just sit there and I go, like, for example, I hate to go back years and years, but the Columbine shootings.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because of a video game. It was because these kids were tired of getting bullied. They were tired of getting treated like shit. So basically, they found the guns in their parents. Which, by the way, just as a side note, if you're a parent and you have a gun and you have a kid in your house,
Mhm.
let me make this clear to you. You're lucky your ass isn't in jail if they kill a bunch of people.
Teenage boys.
Here's the biggest thing I need to say about this, and then we'll get back to topic. You know, when it comes to these shootings, you want to stop the shooting, here's what you got to do. Make stiffer laws for parents. That's number one. That's how you can stop the school shootings. Because let me tell you something right now. A parent going to jail for life because they had guns and they allowed their kid to take a gun. Well, I wouldn't say allow, but put it in reach of their kid to go and kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
You know, hey, boom, done.
Yeah.
Now, and you know what I would also do is I would also put restrictions on these online companies that are selling guns. Because some 16-year-old can go online and buy a bunch of ammo and weapons and go on a killing spree too. You know, for me, I would think the parent would see that and take care of it. But there are some parents that are never home.
Yeah.
You know, in that case, I probably wouldn't say anything about the parents. But at the same time, you know, we need to start doing something about it.
There's enough. This guy, you know, I mean, you know, we go straight off topic for a second. This guy was crazy to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Just because he happened to do something that's popular, like play violent video games, which is a popular thing. Look at, you know, Grand Theft Auto. You know, the giant most evilest game of our time. You know, if you go by certain people's opinions. You know, look at first day. What was it? How many million?
125 million pre-sale.
$125 million or 125 million units or 125 million dollars.
125 units. So 125 million times 60 is a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? So obviously something like this is popular, and just so happens that this guy who did something crazy liked to do something that's popular. That's like saying, you know, oh well, he watched baseball, so baseball made him violent. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, baseball is something that's popular. People watch, you know, and it just so happens that this crazy crazy fucking person. You know what I'm saying? He does a lot of shit. Oh, he wipes his ass with toilet paper. It's the toilet paper that drove him crazy. No, we all wipe our ass with toilet paper. I mean, unless he uses
that's a good image in my head. Anyways.
I'm saying it's one universal thing, but that being said, are you going to say it's toilet paper that drove him crazy? You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's something that a lot of people do. I mean, I'm kind of making a joke, but I mean, it's not.
It's called the blame game, basically. People want to they want to find something to blame. So, video game says violence in it. We're going to blame the video game.
Yeah.
A shitload of people play World of Warcraft, and you don't see people wielding axes trying to kill people in school.
What about Tetris? Or fucking
Tetris, or like fucking
popular games ever.
Contra. You don't see people buying Gatling guns and going through a school with Gatling guns. I mean, come on. There's a certain time where we have to just step back and go, okay, stop. Yeah. But like this GTA game, for example, I just can't wait to hear people. Oh, my kid shot up a school because of this. Your kid didn't shoot up the school because of this. Your kid shot up the school because you had guns, and now you need to go to jail.
Yeah. Your kid could be influenced by what a video game tells them to do. You're not doing your fucking job as a parent.
By the way, if your kid can be influenced by a video game, why did you get them the video game in the first place?
Yeah. How about you raise your kid properly so they don't even contemplate the idea of being thinking that shooting up a bunch of innocent people is a good idea. You know what I'm saying?
Not a good idea.
Take a little blame. Stop blaming everything else. I mean, don't get me wrong. It does suck that there are, today's economy, parents just aren't home for their kids because they're too busy working. But, it's also, we got to take a little responsibility.
One last thing, too. Here's the thing that really pisses me off. So this game sold 800 million worldwide in one day. Mm-hmm. What the fuck are you parents giving these kids $60 to go out and buy a video game when you then turn around 2 seconds later because the economy is still bad, let's face it, you turn around 2 seconds later and say, oh, I don't have enough money. So wait. You're going to give your kids $60 to go buy... Well, first of all, you gave them $300 to go buy the PS3. Because let's face it, some people, when a Grand Theft Auto game is released, they go out and then get the PS3.
Yeah.
It does happen. I've seen it happen.
Of course.
But... to give them $60, so let's just say $360 on a PS3 and the Grand Theft Auto game. So then you're going to turn around and complain about why you don't have any money at the end of the day? Look, let me give you a dose of reality. Go fuck yourself and maybe budget a little bit better, because I'm getting sick and tired of hearing this bullshit about, oh, we don't have enough money. Did you let him go buy the GTA game? Yeah. You don't have any right to talk. Get the fuck out. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And you know what? I've been thinking about getting a PS3, but I just I've been waiting for the PS4 to come out just so that the price of the PS3 would go down and I can buy it.
Gotcha.
I know damn well it's going to be $109. It's probably going to be like $150 at some point.
Of course.
So I'm going to go and buy that, or I'm going to go get it from GameStop pre-used, and if I really want it, because see, here's the problem. I don't know about you, dude, but I don't have any time. I mean, we've had this conversation. I run 2 websites. I got 2 podcasts when I'm on the other one. I have 2 websites, 2 podcasts. I have my kid. I have 2 jobs. See, I work in 2s here, people. And then I have a girlfriend and I have a kid. And I do all this shit.
I was about to say you got 2 girlfriends.
I had 2 girlfriends.
Yes. One of them's going to do it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't have another girlfriend, okay? I love you. Okay, anyways. Don't fuck get me in trouble. No, I'm kidding. But for me, like, I can't, like, I would love to play. Don't get me wrong. I would love if somebody put a PS3 in front of me and said play, and I had a day off and I didn't have anything else to fucking do. I'd be like, I'm down. Let's play, and I'll play it the whole day. But I don't have that time.
Yeah.
The days I have off, I'm doing one of these things. I'm doing the podcast with you on my day off. I just sent like 50 emails to people about projects that I can't talk about. And, Toonami stuff. Like, I'm probably going to do the rating comparison right after I get off this podcast,
Yeah.
I would love to join in the fun with you guys. I mean, I love video games as much as the next person, but I just don't have the fucking time, so it's not worth my money, Plus, I don't have fucking, oh, look, here's the PS3. Yeah, I got $500 to give you. Here you go. No, I don't have that money. I can go maybe buy a new iPhone, but the iPhone, I have the iPhone 4, for example. I could go and buy, like, I've been thinking about getting the 5 because, well, it has 4G. So the faster it is, the quicker I can get updates about Toonami shit. and if somebody posts something wrong. But and I'll stop ranting in a minute. But something like that is more feasible for me. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much time you have to play yours.
Well, see, right now, good news is I got the job and I'm starting on Friday, so I'm actually getting off my ass and doing something. But I'll be honest with you. I mean, with the time, my roommate must think I'm the biggest piece of shit on the planet because I've been playing a lot of PlayStation. I've been the two games that have taken up my life are Batman Arkham City, which is in my opinion one of the best games ever made.
We're talking about the new one or the old one?
Arkham City is the newer one because there's another one coming out in a couple months.
Yes,
that's that one. I'll be honest with you, it's a different company that's handling it, so I'm kind of like a little apprehensive. But right. Batman Arkham City, the one that came out 2 years ago, is one of the best games I've ever played ever. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I understand that I'm a nerd and I like comic book stuff, and seriously, is just one of the most incredibly
people. We told you
games.
Get nerdy at some point in this podcast.
Oh yeah, I love it, and I've gotten to the point where I've actually played all the side missions, and I found all the hidden stuff. I literally got 100%, and I've probably spent more time doing all the side missions than the actual main storyline of the game. I've been playing that, and I've also been playing DC Universe Online, which has been out for 3 years, and I play that every day because I finally I've figured out some things that I didn't know before. So I'm actually, my character, I've actually leveled up my character a hell of a lot in the past month. And, and I mean, it's a character that I've literally had for 3 years. I've had that, I've been, even back when I was in beta, I had a DC Universe Online and don't be wrong, it's a life-sucking waste of time. But, it keeps me entertained. I sit in front of the computer and my roommate must think I'm a fucking lowlife because all I do, for the past, when I don't have other things that I'm trying to take care of, I will plop in front of that TV and I'm not getting up for at least 2-3 hours easy, and I like my PlayStation because one, then she has her Netflix account. So, we put it on the main TV in the living room so I could watch Netflix out there. When you happen to download movies off the internet, if they're in AVI format, you put the file on the thumb drive, you can watch the thumb drive. So instead of looking at your laptop screen all day, you could actually watch it on your TV screen. And nowadays, the people have made it very comfortable and easy to get HD movies. I mean, not that I have an HD TV, I still got the giant tube TV, but I watch movies, I watch Netflix, I play video games. I love my...
And I'm actually getting into the Netflix app because my girlfriend has it at her house. Mm-hmm. And it's actually pretty nice. And I'm starting to think that maybe I might get it because I think my Blu-ray/DVD player can do that, but I just got to hook it in somehow to the internet. So I might try that at some point, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. Oh, it's very convenient. It's very convenient. The funny thing is I'm so used to having Netflix on because even before I moved with my roommate, I had it at my old house. And, back when I was still working and, and, technically, I mean, Netflix was made to be on a computer, you know what I'm saying? And I've played it I've watched it so much on my PlayStation that on my computer, it feels awkward for me. I feel I actually feel I feel weird sitting there in front of my computer screen watching TV when I could be sitting in front of my TV watching TV,
Right.
The TV shows. I mean, Netflix, don't get me wrong. I mean, sometimes, they'll have a great show, or they'll have a great selection, and then the show just magically goes away. My daughter loves Yo Gabba Gabba. Now they don't have Yo Gabba Gabba anymore. And so that drives me crazy. I mean, stuff like that. I mean, sometimes, you're looking for something. And now they've added this new feature, which kind of pisses me off, is where let's just say you're looking for, I don't know, let's say Terminator. And Terminator, is a popular movie, should be on there. And then it says, well, we don't have Terminator, but here's other, science fiction movies about robots. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah, they don't have.
They acknowledge that they don't have Terminator. I'm using that as an example.
Well, they don't even I looked up on Netflix and I was like, oh, you know what? They probably have Super Troopers on here. I was like, yeah. So I'll go and try to find it. It's not even there. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I got it on DVD, but it's just like, that's one of the most popular movies out there.
Yeah.
You know, I can go to
like,
Blockbuster and get it probably.
Yeah, and then they go, well, if we don't have Super Troopers, but you may want to watch, South Park, bigger, longer, uncut. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I get the fact that, yes, it's another raunchy movie, but,
that's not what I wanted.
Exactly. Yeah. You're acknowledging the fact that you don't fucking have it. So it's kind of, it's funny. It pisses me off, but it's kind of a unusual business practice, I guess. And speaking of business, let's get down to business. Doing a podcast.
Oh, wait, we're making money?
Well, yeah, hopefully we're making some money. Doing a podcast ain't free and it ain't cheap. So visit, to show you how broke I am, I can't even fucking, I don't have $14 to pay for twostrangersonepodcast.com, but keep coming back and checking out. I guess that's a new game. You can find out when I have money, when you actually see Two Strangers One Podcast back up. But of course, twostrangersonepodcast.com. But we could always be found on the wonderfully free Facebook at facebook.com/twostrangersonepodcast, and there you can find the links to our iTunes link. So if you want to subscribe to us on iTunes, if you have after you finish updating your iTunes, make sure you subscribe to us.
Yes, please.
If you don't have an iPhone and you're not fumbling and downloading and doing all this other stuff, and you have an Android device, Android tablet, you can download us on the Stitcher app, STITCHER. What else? I had some stuff up on eBay, didn't sell. I'm kind of pissed because I need money. I'm trying to think of what else. Just come to us on Facebook, like us, share. And it's funny because our numbers have actually gone up. People are listening to the episodes, but no one's liking us on Facebook. God damn it! I've actually lost likes on Facebook. I wonder maybe because I pissed people off.
You probably pissed some people off. Well, if you guys don't know about the Facebook page, it's facebook.com/twostrangersonepodcast. Make sure you guys like it. Give us some love. Let us know what you think. We do this podcast for you guys, so show us some love on the Facebook page.
Yeah, just like us. It takes 2 seconds to like,
and make Chris happy because he might start crying.
Yeah, I'm fucking going on. I'm gonna go on a fucking shooting rampage if I don't, because we've been floating around 500 for a while now. I mean, and it's like. It blows my mind that our numbers have tripled when it comes to people downloading the episode. Once again, thank you. But hey, come on, people, like us on Facebook, goddammit.
Which, by the way, goddammit, you need to come to my Twitter page, you fucks. No, I love every one of you. But anyways, well, you could find me at Paul Pascrillo on Twitter. I have a Tumblr page. It's paulpascrillo.tumblr.com. That's where you can. Look at my blog, which I haven't been using, and I'm actually thinking I'll just start posting the podcast there because I haven't been using it that much. If you have questions for me about this podcast, about a different podcast, about Toonami, about other things, or you just want to tell me I'm a piece of shit, which I wouldn't do because you will get destroyed. You can ask me a question there. It's a good thing too. We might want to get a Tumblr, actually, Chris. It's free.
Yeah,
we might do that. I don't know. I'm gonna con Chris in doing some things. Shh. You can also, obviously, I run my site. My two sites are ToonamiFaithful.com. That is the #1 fan site for Toonami on Adult Swim. Make sure you guys follow that page. We do a lot of things on the ratings. We do a lot of things on the news that involves Toonami. We give you the new promos and anything that comes from Toonami that week. We're usually the ones that break the news first. So, give us, ToonamiFaithful.com. Twitter is Toonami News. Just, give us a follow. And like the site, because trust me, I work very hard, and so does the guys that work with me. We work really hard to put out a podcast every week and update the site for you guys. So, I hope that you guys like it. I appreciate the love and everything that you guys do. And also we have, I have a website called my company's called Geeky Inc. Productions. Our website is Geeky Inc. GeekEinc.com. I always seem to fuck that up somehow. That's where we have a lot of anime reviews, a lot of talented nerdcore artists show up there. Go take a look and see what kind of reviews we did. I just updated the site. It looks beautiful. If it were a woman, I may make out with it because it is nice. It is beautiful. So take a look, see what you guys think. And, you may see this podcast show up on Geeky at some point.
Yeah, hey, so more spread the word, spread the love.
So
we certainly hope you guys enjoyed listening and had as much fun as we did recording. Thank you for listening to Two Strangers One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
Don't be a stranger.
Peace. We're out.
Bye.
Deuces. Fuck you, Darrell.
All right, here we go, man. Go ahead. You want to read
Double
it?
Jackpot.
What is it?
It is a self-published book by Christopher Cologne.
Chris Cologne smells good to me.
But
Look at her. That broke that fucking cold little exterior. He's like, hee.
but it is spelled Colon.
Him punny.
But Double Jackpot is a book about a comic book artist, Eric, who is in a loveless relationship with a materialistic
I feel you, Eric.
Lynette.
Oh, fucking. Are you sure I didn't write this? Sounds hauntingly familiar.
He starts cheating on his girlfriend with a more creatively supportive woman, Nadia.
Well, I gotta meet her. Where's the Nadia?
There's your summer girlfriend.
Summer Nadia is Nadia.
Nadia?
Yeah, I think Nadia spelled with an A.
All right.
Both Lynette and Nadia play the double jackpot, the largest payout in lotto history, much like the recent Powerball. Both girls play his birth date as the winning numbers. Eric is now stuck between two of the country's richest women. Who will he choose? It's not that simple. This is a clever fucking idea,
Yeah, it
man.
is.
Look at her, fucking. She's impressed.
I am.
She got some summer reading. Christopher Cologne smells real lovely with an original idea. This is. I've never heard this before.
I haven't either. This is a self-published book, much in the indie spirit as Kev's Clerks.
Oh, you don't even need to name check me. This is just a good idea. You could stand on your own, man. You don't even have to be like, hey, remember Clerks? This is nothing like that. This is way more original than Clerks. This is a good idea, man. Why didn't I think of this?
I need something to read. This book is part of the Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games Trilogy Book 2. Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, coming soon.
Right on, man. It's part of a trilogy. This is the first part.
Way to write, man.
He's seeking a literary agent. Motherfuckers, anybody out there? There ain't no literary agents listening to this show. I assure you, sure. Sure. I assure you, sure. But somebody know a literary agent? Hook a motherfucker up! Chris Cologne come up with an original idea. I should tell Raskin. That's a good fucking idea, to be honest with you. That's a fucking rom-com right there. Megan, get Raskin on the phone. Isn't it possible to get Raskin on the phone? No?
Yeah.
I want to run it past him, man. I want to, and if it happens, I get a taste, Chris Cologne. I get a whiff, if you will.
The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com.
That's lulu.com.
I understand that. I just want to spell it out.
Normally one says it that spells it. Still, lulu.com. What is that? Do you know what it is?
I don't know. All right. The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com. Search for Double Jackpot Christopher Cologne. A paperback version of the book is $15 and a PDF file is only $5.
$5 is
Yeah.
insanely inexpensive. 15's not even that bad for a paperback version.
No.
This is $1 million idea right here. Like a movie about a dude who fucking is stuck between two chicks, both of who play his birthday and win the lottery. Come on! I can see that trailer. Chris Cologne is on to something. Nobody else can smell it but me.
I'll read it.
Thank you. I'm going to make that smelly joke.
I know. You're trying to get me to laugh again.
It worked once. Double Jackpot is a self-published book by Chris Cologne, man. It's the first book in his comic books, heavy metal, video games trilogy. Book 2, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, should be coming out soon. Get all the information at Chris Cologne, like a motherfucker.
I
and
will
his
totally
book,
read this.
Double Jackpot. I'm serious. I'm going to recommend that to fucking Raskin. How is that not a movie? You know what I'm saying? This could be a sexy movie. You could do an R-rated version. There could be nudie in it, and you could saw them fucking both chicks. Maybe a little penetration. Maybe a butthole shot. No butthole, no care.
I would like to formally apologize to Christopher Cologne.
No, sex sells. Chris Cologne will appreciate that. He's like, thanks for throwing a few buttholes in there, man.
Don't forget to check out twostrangersonePodcast.net, your one-stop resource for everything show-related. You can find links to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher. You could also find links to buy my book, Double Jackpot, on twostrangersonepodcast.net.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.